It is done. It's over. The international lull is finally over. Welcome to Talk Football. I'm your host with the most. My name is Tinashe. You can find me on Twitter at Talk Football Tinashe. I am joined this evening by my co-hosts as ever. Nabi, how is it going, mate?
Going good with me, thanks.
Good to hear. Good to hear. Shabab, how's it going with you, mate?
Yeah, all good, all good.
Shihab, sorry.
Glad to see the internationals are over,
Yeah, finally.
basically.
Finally. I was just saying, actually, I need to stick to a name for you because I feel like every week I'm always using a different name. It's
You're gonna
Shiba,
confuse the
Shabab.
people, aren't you?
They were like, there's always a different person on every week. But yeah, I need to stick to one actually. Shihab will probably do, won't it? Man, we'll see. It's like I
Yeah, my
call you
actual name
everything
would
apart
do
from
it.
everything apart from your actual name. Um,
Well, Shabs would work as well because that's on my Twitter handle, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's true. And like last week, before we kick off, um, again, we're gonna put our descriptions, our socials in the description. Sorry. So if you can make sure to follow, like, and interact, and also, again, even in the last episode that we had, the majority of listeners again are coming from the United States of America. You got people from all over actually. I don't have the numbers up just now, which is not great listening. This is me trying to bring it up by talking really slowly to give myself time to give myself a bit of time to bring up the
How slow do you want to go?
yeah. But yeah, in terms of the listeners, again, in the last episode, the majority of the listeners were in the States. Like we said in the last episode, I think then it was like 64% of our listeners were in the US. So if you're listening in the US, just drop a message, even just a hi, to one of us three or the main page. Yeah. So, and I've said before, we do not bite. We will be polite and interact back. So, yeah.
Yeah, and vote, vote Biden.
I mean, we won't get political.
Let's not get into
Yeah, we
US
won't get
politics.
political. Nabi's views, Talk Football, and his views do not represent those views of Talk Football. Those are his views and his views alone. So if you have any, I don't know, anything, any
That sounds
cans you
like the
want to
whole
kick with him,
everything, doesn't it?
yeah, if you've got any issues that you want to take up, go over to Talk Football N. You can find him there on Twitter, and then you can give him all the views. But yeah, most of our listeners actually are in Michigan, Norton Shores, Michigan. In terms of the
Yeah,
ones that are in the
go
states,
Michigan.
yeah, we've got Michigan. We've also got Virginia, Ashburn, Oregon, Boardman, and I'm saying these like the two separate places. They're not. So you've got Boardman, Oregon, Ashburn, Virginia, Norton Shores, Michigan, and there's also Cheektowaga, New York. Wow. And then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah Jazz. Come on. But yeah, guys, honestly, if you're listening, interact. Not just obviously exclusive to those in the states. If you're in the UK as well, um, again, drop a message, opinions, or anything you want to say. Let us know. If you even if you think the podcast is awful, drop it in there. Let us know. Um, but anyway, that's the housekeeping done. I guess now moving on to the actual football, guys. The internationals finally over. This for some, probably for me because of Thomas Partey. This felt like such a long international break. It felt longer than the 2 weeks that it was.
I think it always does, doesn't it? Really, and especially the fact that we're only like 4 games in straight into an international break. Like, how pointless is that? The season's only just got started,
There's another one coming
and
up
then
in
we have them again in
November.
November.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
ridiculous, and all this during a pandemic as well.
Yeah. For me,
So
my
it's great
my
stuff.
my, my thing is okay, cool, fair enough with the Nations League. I don't particularly understand how the Nations League is structured. I don't particularly have any interest in understanding how the Nations League is structured, but it's one of those. Is like, okay, cool, fair enough. You could probably make a point for playing those games, but the friendlies, I did not understand the friendlies at all. As to, you've already got the pandemic going on, and now you're adding the extra pressure, the unnecessary pressure, I feel, of playing friendly matches. Nabi, what were your thoughts on that?
Well, I think Scotland did well. They got themselves 3 clean sheets and 2 goals. So it was exciting watching for them. But I didn't feel it was as long. I mean, I know they got 3 games in, which is they don't usually get that number of games in, but it's fine for me.
Fair enough. You're, I guess, an exception. It was awful for me, to be honest. How about you, Shabs?
Yeah, I watched some of the games. I watched the England games. I am one of those. There was a lot of chat on Twitter about club over country, country over club, all that kind of stuff. Especially I think I saw stuff on Talksport about you'd prefer watching your club win a Premier League or a trophy over England winning the World Cup or whatever. But I do like to watch England when they play. I just don't think it's always necessary to see an international break. I
Yeah.
just don't see the point to it. I know like the Nations League has like this whole ranking stuff and goes towards like World Cup rankings
And
or
how
stuff like that
Belgium are
for
number one
seedings and things.
team in the world, I don't understand either.
It's just who they play, and it's probably like a way they do a seeding system and stuff. It's not based on like winning trophies. Like I don't know how much weight a winning trophy is put into it, but
But no, I
yeah,
just mean
I
like
guess the
logically,
number
if you
one's
look at
now.
it, you would think the current world champions would be the world's number one team. Just logically looking at it without looking at any seeding and any of that nonsense. Just
But
purely,
when is logic ever put into this?
yeah, I guess that's the issue. They probably do
Where
need to.
are where are France in the ranking?
That's a good question. It'll be one
I
where
wouldn't
you
be
find them
surprised
like
if
they're
they're
like,
second, to be honest.
hmm, I,
But yeah, no idea. But
yeah, fair.
they can't be
I
far
don't
off.
I don't think I've ever seen a country that's had the depth that France
Yeah,
has.
it is actually ridiculous.
Isn't it like near enough 3 players in every single position?
Yep, it's actually ridiculous. Um, I don't know. I don't know, and even the fact that you're looking at they've got the best young player on the planet in Kylian Mbappe, Antoine Griezmann, Olivier Giroud, and even looking at the likes of Martial, Lacazette, like the players that they don't call up to, to the national team are probably ones that you would say if they were English, you'd be pushing them to get a start in the England side. But whereas some of the guys that France don't call up, but anyway, it is with great pleasure that I do look behind at that international break that's just gone by. And
I do
now,
take interest in the Liverpool players, though. I think that's one thing I do. I don't know if you
yeah,
guys do that with the
this
World
is for,
Cup players.
the first time in wait, what is it? Ever I've actually actively looked to watch a Ghana friendly. Both of Ghana's 2 games, I actively followed their FA on Twitter, and then because they were posting, one of them was showing on Facebook, and I can't remember what the other one was. But yeah, I was like, oh, okay, cool. I will actually watch this game. Yeah, the first one, yeah, it was a friendly, isn't it?
They lost, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I lost. They got outdone, outplayed everything 3-0. But then the second game they were playing Qatar, I think it was 5-1 to Ghana. With
We're not going to get into Ghana games, are we? Now?
well, I mean, we could do, all obviously revolving around the bubble of Thomas Partey,
Yeah.
which
Anyway, let's move on. Shabs, are you Southgate in or Southgate out?
Hey, out.
what did you say,
Do you
Shabs?
want me to
Too
elaborate
defensive.
on that? I'm
He
out.
said
I
out.
don't want him in the job.
Oh,
Personally, I just don't think he's good enough. I think he's like England's version of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I think that's exactly what he is.
Wow.
He's like he's
That's
okay. He's like a yes man. He's come through the under-21 system, managed them, all that kind of stuff, and he's just perfect for the FA. But as a manager who's going to get us a Euros or a World Cup, I don't think he's good enough. And he
The
might
only
end up wasting this generation, which is going to be annoying if he does.
the only similarity I see is that they both won't drop an underperforming keeper.
They also start Harry Maguire for unknown reasons.
yeah,
I,
well,
I
with
honestly
United, I
don't
would say
understand
I
why he
feel for
starts.
Ole because he doesn't really have much choice. Their star centre back Twanzebe is still injured, so I would say he doesn't really have much of a choice. But whereas Southgate, on the other hand, he's got a wide range to choose from, but he still keeps on picking them. I don't understand like you. Um, but anyway, to get out of this international lull, because we did see a lot of our listeners are not from from England, so they won't care at all about how England are doing. Um, I guess moving on now to the Premier League. There's quite a lot of big games this season, this weekend actually, because you've obviously got the Merseyside derby with which rather I think is going to be a lot more interesting this time round. But we won't get into that until last. So just kicking off, we'll start off with a big game for Manchester City. They play Arsenal. Arsenal travel to City, so a really big game for City. Not sure, just to sort of actually before I give my predicted lineup, I just guess to see what your guys' thoughts are on that. Starting with you, Nabs.
On the game,
No. On the fight, on the
the
game. Yes,
fight,
on the game.
confusing me. Well, yeah, I guess I am interested. I'm disappointed though to hear that De Bruyne might not play.
De Bruyne, Aguero, Jesus are not going to be
I
playing.
know
Well,
Arsenal
I
must be
think De
lucky
Bruyne
there.
is a bit 50-50. I personally, I think De Bruyne's going to play, but Aguero and Jesus, I know they're definitely not going to play.
Yeah, but they've been doing without them. But I think without De Bruyne gives Arsenal a chance. So then I'd be interested to see if what Arteta does, if he does anything different to try and stifle Pep. Because I know he won in the FA Cup game, but it's always different in league games.
That's true.
Players are always at it more in league games. So I'm interested to see if he does anything different. And if City are, because this is usually City they always have some bad games, but they always not all, but like they come back usually with like a big thumping defeat of someone, and you could sense it coming against Arsenal, but without De Bruyne, could be different. So this is probably could be Arsenal's best chance to get a win against a big team. Where is it
Just
again? Home or away?
it's at the Etihad.
Well, yeah, to get an away win as well. So
Yeah. Well, I guess to be fair, you are right. It is a chance for us to get a win against an away win against a big team because we did beat United this year, but that doesn't count as a big team, does it? Not too sure. Or is that debatable?
not away from home.
No,
We
no,
did do
yeah,
it away
yeah,
from home.
away. No, yeah, away. That's where our issue is because I think it's something like 7 years or something like that. The last time we Arsenal beat and the last time no, so it wouldn't be. Was it 7 years? It'll be five then, because
A long
I
time.
think it was Manchester City the last team that we beat. Sorry, at the Etihad 2015 was 2-0.
Wasn't that after that game? Everyone was like, "Oh, this is it. Arsenal have changed. Everything's going to be better now. We've got a proper tactic against big teams." Never happened
But do you know why that is?
because they
Wenger
suck.
Wenger played changed the formation for that one game, right? And then people thought, oh, since we won this game, he's seen the light. We need more in midfield, and he never went back to that formation again. So it wasn't like, oh, we kept on using that formation and it just after that Wenger never went back to it. So that was the thing. It's like, well, it worked against
Was that the Cazorla masterclass?
yeah,
Was that the one?
Cazorla and Francis Coquelin.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember Cazorla was outstanding that
yeah,
game.
it was. It really was. That was that
Has
game.
anyone
Sorry.
has anyone asked him about that on this tour that he's doing? He's answering on everything else. Somebody should ask him about that. Why did you never do that again?
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, it will be quite interesting actually to um get his book. Um, gonna
But yeah, back to the present.
gonna order it and but yeah, yeah. In terms of yeah, I kind of remember what you'd said now actually. Um,
No De Bruyne, Arsenal, maybe.
yeah, I hear you, but personally, I genuinely think De Bruyne's gonna play. But I kind of want him to play as well. Um, because again, kind of like I was saying when we played Liverpool and they beat us, and we were talking about Mane should have been a red card, should have been not, and I was like, yeah, I can see arguments for both sides, but I was kind of happy that he stayed on the pitch because you get a truer picture that way of where you are. Whereas if he'd gone off and we played Liverpool with 10 men, if we won the game, people will be, oh my goodness, we're amazing, blah, blah. But it's like it's not a true reflection. It's because we were playing against 10 men. So if we hadn't won the game, it would have been like, well, you should have. Which is with Kevin De Bruyne. I want to play the best possible City. I know, um, what's his name? Aguero is out for long-term injury. So it could be potentially another couple months with his knee injury that he suffered. And Jesus, I don't think it's long-term. But again, I would prefer to play City with Kevin De Bruyne, who arguably is their best player, was the best player in the Premier League last season. Um, but yeah, Shabs, what are your thoughts on the game, both City and Arsenal?
I'm pretty. In terms of Arsenal, I'm interested to see. I think the big question on everyone's mind is whether Partey starts. He's obviously hasn't trained with Arsenal because since he signed, he then gone on international duty, and he's played against what Mali and
Qatar.
Qatar, which isn't exactly. You're then coming back to play against Man City. You haven't
But
trained
to
with the
be to be fair
teammates
to him,
yet.
in terms
It's
of fitness, I think it's fine because the weekend before he signed, he played or a couple of days before he signed, so he played. He's been playing for Atletico so far this season. So in terms of fitness, I think he
it's
will be fine.
But yeah, well, he should be match fit. But it's more of the fact that he's not played with the Arsenal team. He's not played under Arteta's tactics. He's
Yeah,
not played with the current players, and he's in such an important position in the midfield. I don't know about the risk of starting a player
probably not,
like
he's probably not
Partey.
acclimatized either. Coming over to the cold here.
Yeah, true, and the style of play. I just don't know if he does start. If he does start, I think I guess it says a lot about Arsenal's midfield and how important he is to them. The fact that they start him so soon, especially as he hasn't trained with them.
Well,
City will miss De Bruyne massively
today
though.
will be his first session. So we have today, tomorrow, and then obviously the game is on Saturday.
Saturday evening, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then with City, they've also had a lot of players on international. I know Bernardo Silva scored yesterday. Ruben Diaz played for Portugal, I think, in all 3 games, possibly. Um, they possibly should be better in defence with Ruben Diaz and Laporte. So that'd be interesting to see. But the big one is obviously, like Naby said, is De Bruyne. If he's missing, then the creativity kind of goes, doesn't it? When you've got probably the best creative midfielder in the world at the moment missing. They will have players like Foden, obviously, who starts more often than not, who can
Yeah.
do that kind of style, the David Silva type role, isn't he? But yeah, he'll be a big miss for them, I think. But yeah, I don't think City are what they used to be. So I think this will be a big test to see where Arsenal are at with them.
I wonder
Yeah.
if Pep will try something different. He'd be like, I know you know me, Arteta, but I'm going to try this. See if you can see
I
if you
will
thought
be
about this.
surprised because Pep, even when he's gone against Mourinho and his best days at Barcelona, and Mourinho's managed to sort of get one over him in terms of a win or whatever. Whenever they played again, Pep, like I think Shab said it in the last, was it the last part of the pod before that, where he essentially said that Pep has plan A. There's no plan B. There's no plan C. It's plan A or plan A. So for him to change tactics or do anything like was it the Champions League when he went three at the back against
That's
Leon?
what I was gonna say. Didn't he do something different in the Champions League?
Yeah, three at the back against Leon,
Yeah.
and that didn't turn out well because they lost that game. So yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't think he will. Um,
Especially not at the Etihad. I
yeah.
don't think that's like mentality-wise. I don't think that's the place to be trying something different. I think they're a team where if you play your best, you win. I
Hmm.
think they're at that stage in their mentality. Whereas we play our best, we will beat any other team.
Yeah.
And at
I,
that
I think
point,
the thing,
you're then playing your normal tactics, aren't you?
yeah, if it does change anything in terms of formation, tactics, or anything, that would be a massive compliment to Arsenal and Arteta. If he does that, to be fair, because it will be a way of looking at, like, okay, we are potentially weary of you. I'm not gonna say scared, but we're weary that you can cause us a lot of damage. So yeah, we're gonna put these, I don't know, things in place to try and stop you, essentially.
What What if he went one centre back, but that centre back is Ederson?
Doesn't he do that anyway? No, I'm
Yeah,
joking.
but it's just Ederson in the defence.
That'll be easy. Just lob him because there's no one in behind him, is there? So just give the ball to
Will it
to
be
to
zero?
Leno.
You have to get the ball though to lob him.
Pardon?
You have to get the ball to
Oh,
lob him.
that's fine. That's completely fine. We've got Partey now, so we will be able to get the
Do
ball.
you think he starts then in your
This
mind? Does he
this
start?
this is the thing. Oh, sorry. This is the thing because even with I got really excited there. I don't know if you could tell. But even with Arteta in his interview in his presser today, he was obviously hinting like, well, today is his first day training with the lads. He still has to sort of um get used to everyone. He's evolving to getting to know the lads because I don't think he's properly met everyone yet in terms of the team because obviously people are away on international duty. But he's already met Laka, Oba, Martinelli. But whether he starts, in my humble opinion, I would start him. These are the kind of games that we bought him for. To make a huge difference in these because especially if Kevin De Bruyne plays, we need our best available midfield to play, and our best available midfield includes Thomas Partey. So
But
for
are
me,
you throwing him in at the deep end though? In that,
but keep
if
in
it
mind,
does go wrong,
this
this
is
is the
this is
kind of game it could go wrong.
one thing I will say. This is not a 19, 20, 21-year old who's starting to find his feet on European football. This is someone who's been playing at the highest level, Champions League semi-finals, finals, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Liverpool at Anfield, Liverpool at home. Like, this guy is used to playing massive games. So I do think, to some extent, we are that slightly doing him a bit of a disservice. He the only thing I would say. I agree with what you're saying is the sort of acclimatization period. He has to sort of get used to his teammates, used to the environment, etc., the tactic. But in terms of like throwing him in the deep end, nah, I don't think so because he's played a lot of pressure games in his career, so this shouldn't be an issue. Um,
But I'm not saying thrown deep in terms of pressure, throwing in deep in terms of he hasn't got the understanding with the rest of his teammates yet, or you wouldn't expect him to have that level of understanding yet, as to that instinct of you just know where your players are going to be because you've
mhm,
just worked on a system,
mhm.
and like you don't always have to look to your right. You just know a certain player will be there, or
Yeah.
if you hit it up long, some of that kind of stuff. He hasn't got that part of his game yet with Arsenal
Well, yeah,
to
which is
throw
fair.
him into the City
I,
game
I,
where they have City do have the ability to run right. They do against any side
yeah,
in the world. If they're on their game and at 100%, they could run riot against near enough any team out there. So you wouldn't want to throw Partey into that kind of game if you don't feel he's tactically ready
but in terms of
um,
tactically
to
though,
then just look like a headless chicken running around the pitch
in
where
terms of
City just
tactically
like do
though,
triangles around him.
I would say you're now talking about a player who's probably played under one of the most tactically astute managers on the planet in Diego Simeone. So in terms of tactical understanding, you would expect him to sort of pick it up pretty quickly. Like, if you tell him, okay, this is what we're expecting you to do. I get what you're saying. Like, he may not yet understand, or whenever I get the ball at this particular moment, Bellerin is going to be bombing down the line at this particular moment. Tierney is going to be bombing down the line. But in terms of like, if you were to sit him down and tell, okay, this is the tactics. Sorry, we're gonna play. We're gonna expect you to do X, Y, Z. I don't think that part will be a problem, because in terms of the discipline that he would have gotten, the discipline that he would have learned from playing under someone like Simeone, um, that is something that I don't think you can forget in like what 2 weeks that he's since he's left Atleti. But I do get the
All you'll
point.
need
Like,
to tell
sorry.
all you need to tell him is don't let Louise get 1-on-1 with someone in the box.
That is true. So just make sure you constantly cover Luis, because if he gets 1-on-1,
Oh, so
him or
be a fourth
holding.
centre back,
Yeah,
basically.
him or holding. Because like I said in the Liverpool game, there were times when I would see Mane running up at Holding 1-on-1, and I'd just be like, oh no. But anyway, in terms of, I guess, moving on to my predicted lineup, I would have
What
Leno.
about your formation? Actually, what about your
Yeah, I would
formation?
still stick to three at the back. This one is where I agree
Okay.
with you in the sense that this is too big a game, especially the run of games. Because after City, we've got Leicester and then United. Our games
Yeah.
now, too big a games to change formation now. I would say wait until maybe after this stretch of games, and then just start, even continue in the Premier League, but start trying it out in Europa League games, because they're starting up pretty soon. Start trying the different formations for the back, whichever, which I do think he will want to go back to. Um, 4-2-3-1 is what I think Arteta wants to play. With, yeah, with who on the base? Partey and Dani Ceballos, and then potentially Willian in the 10 role. But
Oh, fair enough.
in terms of the formation, I expect him to keep the same formation that we've been playing. But in terms of personnel, I do expect a few changes. So I'm going Leno in goal. I've got Holding, Luis, and Gabriel as the three centre backs, and then I've got Saka playing left wing back, and Hector Bellerin playing right wing back. Partey and Ceballos, and then Oba, Laka, and Pepe. Obviously, Tierney, I've not included him because he's still in Scotland. Arsenal and the SFA. Well, Arsenal are still talking to the SFA to try and see if they can get a way to get Tierney to London and ready for the game on Saturday. But with how close it's getting now, I don't see it happening. Personally, I
They
think
have
with,
different rules, don't they? Which is
yeah,
complicating things.
yeah, because the thing up in here in Scotland is, if you come in contact with someone who has the virus, you self isolate for 2 weeks. I think it is. Um,
Yeah.
Whereas I think in
Yeah.
London, it's like England. Sorry, it's like 10 days or something like that, isn't it? But yeah, so obviously he's in Scotland, so he has to sort of follow the guidelines here. But yeah, I don't see, even if they do sort of say, okay, cool, you can go back, whether he'll come and then just start straight away. I don't know. I could be wrong, but yeah, even Tierney himself is kind of came out and said he's pretty frustrated about the whole situation, because he did done everything that he was asked to do in terms of keeping social distance, etc., wearing masks, but he's still now finding a situation where he's having to self isolate.
And it's a
Even though,
big game to miss as
yeah,
well.
exactly, because he said what,
So
3 tests and they've all came back negative. But anyway, that's, yeah, a whole conversation on its own. But yeah, I don't expect any formation change, because I do feel it will be too soon. And I do want Partey to start, but whether Mikel starts him or not is another thing. But personally, these are the kind of games that would bottom to make a difference in. So I definitely would um, start him in this game. But
how do you expect the game to go? Like, what do you think Arsenal's approach would be? What do you think City's approach
well, in terms of
will be?
Arsenal's approach, I do expect it to be pretty similar as before. To be honest, just try and absorb pressure. Um, from Liverpool. But I think this time, instead of just sort of this is why I'm kind of pushing for Partey to start. If we with City, if they shut down our left hand side, their right hand side, like what you did with Liverpool, when you just kept on overloading that side and they kept on pushing Oba back, you pretty much hit us in our Achilles heels. But with Partey, he could also ping the ball out wide to Pepe's side. So that now pretty much opens up, two avenues to attack out wide. And also with him, you can break the lines through the center. So it does give us more flexibility in terms of attacking as well as defending. Even with this current formation that we've been playing. So yeah, I expect more or less the same from Arsenal. But I would say probably a little bit more aggressive, especially a lot more dominant in the midfield. Because even when we played the formation, generally we tend to bypass the midfield, balls over the top, etc., etc. But now, if we have Partey in, I would expect us to play through the middle quite a bit more. Um, and obviously, you'll now have more channels out wide through the middle, different sections of the pitch to be able to exploit and overload. In terms of City, like I said earlier, I just expect it to be Plan A, but probably better and more intense. Because yeah, the intensity. I don't know if it's me just probably being harsh. It doesn't seem like they've been as intense, apart from the Watford game, the Wolves game. Sorry, at the start of the season, the first half of the Wolves game. That's where I felt they were extreme. Like when I saw that first half, I was like, wow, they mean business. But then the second half, I was like, oh, it's almost like it was a different team that came out for City. But yeah, I just with City, I do expect Plan A, but just better and more intense.
Yeah, because I think with City, I think their counter press hasn't been very good. When they've lost the ball high up, a couple of years ago, you just hound the players, wouldn't they? Similar to how Liverpool went after Arsenal players.
Do you know what I
City
think?
would do that kind of thing, and they
What I think
don't do it anymore.
the issue is Rodri. Rodri, sorry. I think at the base of the midfield, he's not as mobile as Fernandinho was. Because when City's counter press was on point, that's when Fernandinho was unbelievable for them in that position. And I don't kind of feel Rodri offers the same, and even in terms of mobility across covering both sides as well. He's leaving quite a lot of gaps open. So I think it might be one where he'll, but this will be him changing tactic. I would say I was gonna suggest like maybe going a two at the base and having Fernandinho and Rodri. Because even looking at I
You
forgot.
rarely see him do that, though, don't
Yeah,
you?
that's the
It's
thing I
very
was gonna
rare, I
say.
think.
Because even thinking at Atleti, when Rodri was there, he always played next to. I can't remember the guy he played. Was it Sao? I can't remember if it was. He always played next to someone to offer him that bit of mobility, a little bit more protection. Whereas I do feel if you leave him, as has been happening since he's come in, leaving him there by himself, he gets a bit overrun by the opposition quite a bit. Whereas Fernandinho, that never really used to happen to him. But yeah, I do get what you're saying that it's not working as much, but like I said, I think that is a lot to do. But with Rodri, and how much is it that he cost them 60 million last season, wasn't
And all their players are always around that kind of price, aren't they?
it? Yeah, yeah. I
I
don't
Is
just
know.
the
don't know
new
if he's
centre
good enough. Maybe
is the
Yeah,
new centre back expected to start?
who
uh,
Ruben? He's
he
already
should do.
started for them,
Yeah,
hasn't he?
Is he?
is it?
I don't think
Has he not
so.
played for them already?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Or
Because
is it about
they
making that
signed
up?
him after the Leeds draw, didn't they? That was the last game that they
Yeah.
played before the internationals.
Oh, so
Or
I'm just making it
or
up
they might
then.
have just signed him just before, but I'm pretty sure he hasn't played a single game for them yet.
Oh, maybe
Yeah.
I'm seeing things then. I thought he had played the game.
No, it's Fernan Torres that's played a few games for them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. I don't know if you guys want to check that, just in case I'm right.
Nah, you
Well, you should
really ever
check it in
are.
case you're right. We're right. We
Yeah.
know we're right.
Yeah.
All right, all right.
Yeah. Nabi, you had something to say?
Forgotten now.
No.
Did I
Fair.
have something to say?
Yeah, you had something, but then I think Shabs said something.
No, he mentioned the defender. That's what it was. It
Oh,
was
right.
about
Okay.
Ruben.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, do you have any more before we get onto predictions on the Arsenal score?
No, let's predict.
Let's indeed.
Naby's fed up of Arsenal already.
Yeah, let's indeed. What's your prediction? Starting with you, Shabs. I was about to go 3 different names in one go.
Good job.
Yeah.
My prediction is going to be a very, very tight game. I'm going to go with City 2-1.
2-1. Player to watch.
I'll go with Raheem Sterling on this one.
Nabi.
I'll go 3-1 City, Mahrez to star.
That's a good shout, to be fair.
And I'm going to go 2-1.
Same as me then.
And Partey. to
It's
start.
obviously Arsenal, isn't it? It's obviously
2-1 to
Arsenal.
who? Say it. 2-1 to who?
2-1 to Arsenal.
Oh.
Yeah, 2-1 to Arsenal.
At some point, this is going to work.
Like no,
'cause
like it's
you said 2-1 to Arsenal against Liverpool as well.
do you
That
know what
didn't
it
work
is?
out.
If this was last season, I would have put us down for a loss. The thing is, it's like we're I feel like with the Arsenal fan base, just or the football club, there's something happening at Arsenal. I'm sure you kind of felt it when things started happening for Klopp, that there's something building here. So
Oh, yeah, definitely.
with that then comes, you start to get a little bit more confidence. So that's why I'm starting to feel like this season we will beat a big team away. Whereas if you'd asked me that
You can
last
feel it
season,
coming. You
yeah,
can feel a big win coming.
yeah. Whereas if you asked me that last season, I probably would have laughed. Like, where? I don't see us beating anyone, even at home, never mind away. So this season, I do feel there's a big win coming. But yeah, I hope
Did
it
you say
is this one.
parties you want to watch?
Yeah, Partey to star.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
Yeah, I'm telling, it's gonna be party time. Um, up in Manchester after that. Um, I literally forced saying Manchester so that I could say, with that perfect segue, let's move on to Manchester United. Um, even though they're actually playing in Newcastle, to be fair, because it's away, isn't it?
It is away, yeah.
Yeah, Newcastle away. How are you feeling? Before we sort of going into all the detail about your predicted lineup or anything. So actually, before we get into, is there any team update from the international break? Any changes or anything like that?
No, nothing. I think there was a worry that they might not have Fernandez available after Ronaldo tested positive, but it seems that he's been cleared. He's okay. We'll have him back. So I guess
Before
that's
we
the
get
good
started,
news.
can I say one thing?
No.
Ruben Diaz started against Leeds.
Did
Did
he?
he?
Yep. Him and Laporte started against Leeds.
Oh.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to fact check this.
Nabi's not having it.
I would like an apology, Naby, from you. Once you've
Nabi's
checked that,
not having it. Yeah, he's
I
not
would like
having
an
it.
apology on the podcast, please. And then you can carry on with your Manchester United chat.
Wow. He is actually
Can you fill?
he is
you fill
actually
in?
fact
You fill
checking
time,
this, isn't it?
Panache.
Yeah, no, it's I'm
You-
just mentioning you are actually.
Stall, everyone.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully soon we could get you listeners, bless you with the videos. But yeah, currently, you can see Nabi just sort of scrolling away on his phone, actually checking whether if,
You're taking your time to check this, Naby.
sorry.
Even putting yourself on mute while you swear because you got it yourself. Got it wrong. Is that what it is?
And
I guess we can talk about United while we wait on him to fact check that.
yeah, what are your thoughts on?
Oh, he's
Oh, he's
back.
back.
He's back. Have you
Is
checked?
back? That smile on his
It
face.
seems someone's changed history here.
Where's my apology? Where's my apology?
I apologise for my mistake in thinking that Diaz did not play.
Thank you. Apology accepted, Naby.
I'm still quite sure he didn't. I mean, sure.
Oh, because the
Don't-
facts are wrong now. All right.
I'm bamboozled.
Well,
there, but
you know what Trump says, you know. Anyway, Nabi, you were saying about United.
Well, I'm a bit worried. Yeah,
Do you
especially
want to
given.
elaborate? I was gonna say, do you want to elaborate? It's like, oh, I'm a bit worried. Okay.
Well, obviously with their form, and now I think they should drop our skipper. I think he needs to be taken out. Obviously, things aren't quite right for him.
Even like if sorry, I just wanted to interject and say I'm not sure if he played for Spain against Portugal, but I was gonna say if Kepa is playing ahead of you, that tells you something.
I think De Gea he played for Spain, but he made a mistake.
It was a shock. Kepa played it. He didn't
But
make a mistake.
Spain lost against the other day, didn't they? 1-0 to Ukraine or something.
I
De
bet you.
Gea was in goal that game.
I was gonna say I bet you that's a game that De Gea was in was in goal.
Yep, he
yeah,
was.
that was the De Gea mistake. He was kind of far off his line and just nowhere near the ball.
Wow.
Fair
But
enough.
also, like with him, I know he got sent off, but the thing that stood out for me that showed he's not quite at it was the touch. Did you know the touch for the second sending off?
The
That
Harry
was
Maguire one.
yeah, the touch was so bad with no
Oh,
one
I
off.
was raging as an England fan.
I think that's what showed me that there's mentally he needs a break.
He needs to be taken out the
Yeah, do you think
firing
he's
line.
not been mentally right since the whole holiday stuff that happened and a lot of backlash in social media that he must be getting? Like, mentally, do you think that's the side of his game that's causing the issue?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, because he's not that touch though. Just such a lack of concentration. It wasn't an ability thing. He's shown
Yeah,
his
definitely. He had a
ability.
very poor game. I thought both games he wasn't great, to be honest, that he played.
Yeah, so that obviously, if he drops Maguire, that needs a reshuffle, and obviously he need to drop De Gea. But I won't keep going on about that.
Is that
But
reshuffle to a
also,
back three then? Or
it's still a back three. Just
have
new
you always done a back
personnel.
three?
Well,
Well,
in
to
terms of
discuss.
Naby's predicted, his was back three, but because that's what he was saying last pod, wasn't it? That he thinks that Solskjaer should change.
Oh, okay, yeah, because give the support similar to what Arsenal do.
Yeah, also Newcastle away it can be a tricky game. I mean, it seems to be the game for I can't remember which long stuff it is, Sean or Matt,
Matty Longstaff scored.
the ginger one. Yeah, I think he only shows up when they play United. That's the only 2 goals he's had. I think
Watch him wear the armband on Saturday.
he becomes a Geordie Scholes when he plays us.
Sean Longstaff is the one that United were targeting at one point, or
Yeah,
rumoured. I don't know if they were actually.
he's not done much actually since all that rumor. I've not seen much of him.
Oh,
No,
fair enough.
but
But but yeah, they need to win this to get back on some sort of form before the big games come up. They need to get back in some sort of rhythm. Although it isn't obviously going to be helped with no Martial
who
and
would you play?
Henge.
Obviously, Martial out due to the red card he got against Tottenham, and Cavani obviously can't play because he'll still be self-isolating before he can join the group. So who would you put down the middle?
Is this me going into my predicted lineup?
I guess if
Yeah,
you could
but
give us a
I
flavor
guess
of
you're
your
predicted,
prediction.
yeah.
Sorry, your prediction and what you think Solskjaer will do.
Well, what I would like then, Henderson in goals. I'd put Wan-Bissaka right back, and then I'd put McTominay in defence because that's actually he's been playing there for Scotland. I think he played 3 games for
Yeah,
Scotland there
he
in the
did.
international break at the right centre back. So since he's been doing that, he should be used to it. Just put him in there, and then the
But
other
keep
two
keep
will be
in keep in
filled.
mind, he'll be. I don't think it'll transfer as easy as that because it'll be a different quality in striker that he'll be facing in the Premier League than he was facing against Israel. I can't remember the other 2 games that they played.
Yeah, but
But
he would have also trained with the Scotland team in that, so he would have had. It would be in his head about what to do more than someone else that hadn't been doing it.
I hear you.
So I
I
would
hear you.
bring him in there. And then Lindelof and Bailly would have to be the other two because there is no one else. Obviously, we don't know where Twanzebe is in his return. He's not going to play Jones. He's not going to play Rojo. And I don't think he'll play the youngster. So it'll have to be them two. If he drops Maguire, he might put Maguire in. But obviously, my lineup would be those. It'd have to be those two, depending on Twanzebe's availability. And see, the left back I'd like to have Telles, but he has just signed. I'm not sure how much training he's had done. No, how much training he has had. So I'd probably put Shaw left back, and then midfield three, Matic, Van de Beek, Fernandez, and five, and then Rashford, Greenwood up front. That's what I would have. What I think Solskjaer will do is De Gea, goals, back four, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Shaw, and then Matic, Pogba, Fernandez, Rashford, Greenwood, and he might go for.
Do you think
He
James
might.
comes in?
I think either James, Lingard, or Gallo is the three. I'm thinking of who he'd put
Wow,
in.
some amazing options there.
James, Lingard, or Igalo.
The depth in that squad is unbelievable.
I'll think he will go for. I think he'll go for a Gallo.
Go. Fair.
I think because with a Gallo you can keep the same system, and then just take out a Gallo for Cavani rather than change the system back for when you can bring Cavani in.
Just to as a
Fair enough.
FYI, I was just looking on the United website for update on Axel Twanzebe, and they're saying if all continues to go well, um, the PE teacher says Axel, will be back in the picture after the October international break. So looks like it could be sooner rather than later. And by the
The
sounds of it,
defense is about to be saved.
yeah, by the sounds of it, the Messiah is coming.
Yeah,
The
you
Messiah.
wait him and Henderson, rock solid, rock solid.
Oh, and they were also talking about Phil Jones that he's apparently raring to go. So
Well,
I'd
so's
love
Ozil
to see
raring
him
to
back
go,
on the
isn't it?
pitch.
yeah.
I would love to see him back on the pitch.
In a
It's just like
United
when
talk.
Ozil make these statements,
Sorry.
you're just like, well, yeah. It's just like
No,
when
see,
Ozil
this
make
the
these
difference
statements,
is
you're
this
like,
is also making the statements, right? But this is your manager making the statements, not Arteta saying Ozil's raring to go. This is your manager saying Phil Jones is raring to go.
I
You
think he
know,
probably knows that he might need them because things are getting that bad.
Imagine we see Abayi and Jones back too, like centre back pairing. Imagine.
I mean, I'd be if they can get through two games together, that'd be a big surprise. And I mean, not getting injured, and not even getting, and not getting sent off.
I'm just thinking Alex St. Maximin, or is it Alan St. Maximin,
yeah.
Callum Wilson, and who else you got? Almiron or Fraser or someone like that. Imagine running up against a centre back pairing of Bailly and Jones.
He just pull up and was like, "Wait, are you serious?" Stop running at them like,
I thought we're playing Manchester
yeah,
United.
it's like you got to be serious. You can't be kidding. Um,
And then they have De Gea and goals. They're like, oh, we're getting three today at least.
yeah, that's true. Well, if depending on how clinical they are, because if you look at Crystal Palace, they could have had 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yeah. What do you think United's approach is then? How do you think the game will pan out?
It'll be scrappy, tentative. I don't think it'll be that free flowing.
Do you think we'll be on the
I
front
think
foot?
probably. I mean, I'd like them to be, and I think that all the talk is that they will be, but I don't think it'll pan out that way.
Because I think if United are on the front foot, that benefits Newcastle surely. Because it's one
Yeah,
where they'll just sort of sit and then just absorb and then counter. Because in terms of the counter, they definitely have the players for it.
But that is a bit dangerous in that, United, they still have the attacking quality. That if you did give them the chance, they might get their couple goals. They need to settle them down.
Yeah, but yeah, to me, yeah, for me, the only way I see United getting a win here is if they score early and they score first. That's how, but then again, they did that against Tottenham and it all fell apart after that. But yeah, I do feel that for United to win, they have to score first and they have to score early. Um,
Just another thing I just saw before we came on. John Barnes has said that Harry Maguire is the best centre back England have, and there's no one that he sees that gets in ahead of Maguire.
yeah,
He
because
knows
So
what he's
just
doing. Don't you think? He knows what he's doing.
he's a bit deluded though, John Barnes, isn't he? So I wouldn't really take what he says to be gospel, to be honest. Plus, he's only saying that so that United keep playing him and you keep shipping the goals in. Okay, I'll ask you this question then. Do you think he's the best centre back that England have? Take that as a no. Um, just greeted with silence there. What about you, Shabs?
uh,
No one either.
To hear me.
Oh, I can hear you now.
yep,
Oh,
I've got
you're
you.
back.
Keep going.
Yeah. No, I was asking um if you think he's the best centre back England have.
Especially in current form. Um, I think as much as the 80 million price tag has put a target on his back, it's also kind of given the impression that, oh, he was bought for 80 million. He must be really good. And, he had some good performances for Leicester. Well, a good year or so for Leicester. But he's always had these defensive issues, I feel. Even during his time with Leicester, I think he's had defensive
Do you know
issues.
what for me?
I would say Tyrone Mings and Conor Cody are both better than him.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well, and I was gonna say yeah. For me, it's the pundits that that I guess are making me looking at the whole situation now with hindsight. Obviously, is making me laugh. It's like, oh, he could be the answer to England's centre back problems. He could be as good as Virgil van Dijk. I remember Jamie Redknapp saying, I'm sure, and I don't know if you guys remember. Was it the Champions League or was it an international break? I can't remember. But essentially, uh, what's his name? Van der Vaart. When they were talking, he was talking to Jamie Redknapp about
Oh
him,
yeah, 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 yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. I know where you're gonna.
yeah, about Harry Maguire, and he's like, what? Because Jimmy was talking well about. He's like, oh, he was playing. And he's like, what? I see all the people in England saying, he's a good player. He's good. I saw him tonight. He's the worst player on the pitch, and I was like, wow, You wow. But Nabi, do you think he's the best CB in England? CB, sorry.
At the moment, no.
Do you think if everyone played to their best, he is?
I think if everyone is playing to the best of their ability, I think yes.
Wow, that's a
He's
big statement.
he's just really, really underperforming at the moment.
Wow.
Fair
Fair.
enough. I think there's a better defenders.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think someone like Tyrone Mings is not seen to his level just because purely he plays for Aston Villa. I think.
hmm Yeah, because
Yeah, but he
And I
plays
think
for
Harry
Aston Villa for a
Maguire is seen
reason.
as a better player just purely because of the
he's at
team that he plays
United.
for.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but they are there for a reason. I mean, Mings went from Bournemouth to Villa, didn't he? He didn't do that well at
Well,
Bournemouth.
United also signed Phil Jones and Smalling as the future
England
centre
centre
back
backs.
pairing of England
Yeah.
for 10 years, and look at them.
They're still at United
They were
now to
meant to
say
be,
they're there for a
they're meant to be our
reason. So
pairing for 10 years. So
yeah.
that didn't work out for
Mm.
us.
With
I
football as
was,
well,
I was
a lot of it does come down to opinions. Like you may be at a club where the manager doesn't necessarily rate you, but I don't know, someone else for example, Serge Gnabry, perfect example. Tony Pulis, we all know what he said, and then he goes now to become one of the best young players on the planet. So yeah, he's there for a reason, but at the same time, I think it's a matter of time for him. But the thing that I think that will prolong his move now is the fact that Villa are going to want similar money to Maguire for him to move. And in this current climate, I don't see any Premier League team willing to pay 70, 80 million for a centre back. Um, so I guess
No, it's a shame, but
with
yeah.
that, I would then say Naby. Well, I guess I'll kick us off actually. I'm going to go for a 2-0 to Newcastle.
Who's the home team?
Newcastle, and then I'm
Okay,
going
Newcastle at
ASM
home.
to be the man to watch. Naby, Shab, sorry.
I'm going to go with 2-1 Newcastle, and same. Alan St. Maximin is the one to watch.
Naby,
I'll go 1-1 and Callum Wilson, man to watch.
Ouch. I feel for the United fans. Does Naby remind you, T, of yourself a year
yeah.
ago? Probably.
You know, this is the thing I keep saying because, to be fair, one of our friends will be coming onto the pod later. Corin had a discussion with him over the weekend, and a lot of the points that he made, not over the weekend, sorry, during this week, a lot of the points that he made about United, I kind of just looked at. I was like, I remember those days. I remember those days. Because essentially he's talking about the lack of investment within the team. Because the thing is, United, okay, we all have our banter, etc., but United are a massive club globally. They should not be where they are. They should not be going through what they're going through right now with the size of the organization, the club, the history, the respect that it has. Even though now it's becoming more of a banter club, to be honest. But in terms of the history, it's undeniable. But I guess it is one of those cycles. Arsenal went through it after our invincible season. We dipped, and there seems to be some sort of life in the old dragon now that's sort of coming back up. Whereas United, I still think it's gonna get worse for you guys. I don't think. I think you're probably gonna have another year, 2 years, if not a little bit more, of this sort of up and down, up and down, up and down. And in the ups, you're winning an FA Cup, Europa League here and there. But in terms of competing for the title, um, yeah, I still think you're some way off. Even one of those where if you were to buy Jadon Sancho and put him into this team this season, I still don't think you're competing for the title this year or next year. Because my issues for me, it's not your attacking, it's the defending the transition. Because obviously football nowadays is it's essentially played on the transition, and it's defending the transition where I kind of feel that you guys are struggling a little bit. Well, not a little bit, a lot, actually. And oh, I really tried hard to find a segue. There was none. But transitioning away from Manchester United to Liverpool. Well, the Merseyside derby actually. So that's going to be a massive game this week. And like I said at the start, I do feel that it could potentially be a lot closer and a lot more intense than prior years. Obviously, kind of sucks a little bit, fans not being there. Um, but yeah. Just before we get into that, again, all our socials are going to be in the description, so make sure you follow us on Twitter. We're most active on Twitter, and you follow us on Instagram, subscribe on YouTube, and get all our contents there. And again, please interact, like, um, and follow. And like I said at the start, we don't bite. We're nice enough blokes. So even if you don't like the show, let us know what exactly you don't like about Nabi, so we can tell him to adjust. Nah, joking aside, yeah. Descriptions in the socials in the descriptions. Getting back to business, Shabs, what are your I guess overall thoughts to start off with before we get into the detail?
I think this is an exciting matchup and probably the most exciting game for the fans and also for neutrals watching on. You've got Everton looking much better. Amazing transfer window, you've got to say, with Alan, Doucouré, James Rodriguez on fire, to be honest. 4 wins in a row, 100% record, top of the league. And we've also done well up until that 7-2 loss. So coming into it, it's looking like a massive game, which we've not had in a while against Everton. I think our records goes back years, over 10 maybe, of where we're not losing to Everton. And it's kind of like not every game's been easy because it's a derby and there's been a lot of cagey games and stuff. But we go into it very, very confident, knowing that we're the much better team. Whereas going into this one, it's quite exciting where we know we have to be at our best to beat this Everton side. And it's a great test, I think, and a great matchup. And it's going to be a pretty exciting game. But the biggest thing of all is Thiago. Thiago is back. He's out of isolation.
Man is back as well. Isn't he?
Yeah, Mane is back, which means he'll go back on the left, and Jota will come out of the team, I'm sure. Even though Jota did score yesterday, 2 goals for Portugal and an assist. He had a really good game, actually. But yeah, Mane's back, Thiago's back, Henderson's obviously back. He's been getting match fit while playing for England. Played a lot of the second game and then came on for the most recent one. You have Andrew Robertson, who purposely got a yellow card in the second Scotland game. So he missed the final one, so he could just come back to Liverpool and rest up and start training. So yeah, looking forward to it. Oh, and Matip is back.
Just to clarify, the thoughts of Shihab are of Shihab alone. They do not represent the view of Talksport. We're not trying to endorse, to say or suggest that.
Talksport? Are we
talk
Talksport
football.
now?
Sorry, we are not Talksport because we definitely will get sued. But yeah, not implying that Andy Robertson purposely got injured. You know, I'm pretty sure he's a upstanding
he definitely
professional.
didn't. He loves playing for Scotland, to be
upstanding
fair.
Professional.
Yeah, he's not that kind of guy. I'm just obviously making it up. But it was great. It was great to see that he got the yellow card, and I think he kicked the ball away or something. I didn't watch the game. It's obviously Scotland, but I heard he kicked the ball away and got a yellow card. So
I didn't watch the game because it's Scotland. So no jokes. I watched the first game, to be fair. But I think the other ones were on
Nation League games, I'm sure.
That's the awkward times. But anyway, and Abby, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think he wanted to get back so he could have some extra training sessions because he has to deal with James Rodriguez.
Yeah, I do agree.
I did read.
That'd be a good matchup, though, wouldn't it? That would be an interesting matchup.
I'm sure I read something earlier on that James was coming back from international duties late, so he might not play. But I don't know. I've not seen anything of that since. Don't know how true that is.
I think it's similar to Tinashe's opinion on De Bruyne. I'd want to see him play. I'd want to be tested against the best Everton. I don't want people saying,
"Oh, there was this caveat. Yeah. There was that caveat. He wasn't playing.
I don't want people saying,
yeah.
And it's obviously at Goodison Park as well. I want to see their best team against our best team. So
I think the last time Everton beat Liverpool, Mikel Arteta was one of the scorers.
Yeah, I think he scored the winning goal.
Yeah, it was. He scored the winning goal. Yeah. It was a while back. Says it a lot, but you know.
But I think it will with James, and especially now an informed Calvert-Lewin.
He's a beast right now.
It will be.
He is.
They do have their worries with Pickford though, so he has history.
Well, they have their worries with
Adrian.
Yeah. But
still not got Butland yet.
No, we're not getting Butland. I've heard about possibilities of Ben Foster. I've also heard all sorts of names being branded, but I think it will be just Adrian. I think we just got to accept he's
Did you not
trusting
have a
Adrian.
Did you not have a Twitter poll out of who should they bring in?
Butland and Ben Foster drew that Twitter
Wow,
poll.
really?
But I would personally like Ben Foster. I think he's a good safe pair of hands. And would probably be happy to
Ex-United
sit as
keeper.
backup. He is. There's a lot of ex-United players out there, to be fair. Because obviously, being one of the larger clubs, you bring a lot of players into your academy, don't you? And stuff.
And
And
also,
then they don't always get time.
just to mention a poll that I also did, which was if people thought that Thomas Partey will take Arsenal into the top four. 82% said yes, leaving only 18% to no. So just a
I was
FYI.
one of the no's, I'll admit.
Yeah, you got two of the nose here.
Wow. So listeners, you see what I have to deal with, literally fighting against the grain. So please, in the comments when we post this episode, show your love, show your support. So Nabi, in terms of the actual game itself, how are you kind of feeling that it's gonna play? For me, sorry, before you jump in, I'll just give my 2 cents. I kind of think one battle I am pretty looking forward to is this informed Calvert-Lewin against Virgil van Dijk, because I think I spoke about in the last pod with Calvert-Lewin that I would like to see him against Gabriel, because very physical. Obviously, Virgil van Dijk great up in the air and very athletic. But those are also three words that you could use to describe Calvert-Lewin. And he can also get in behind. He's not sort of your traditional nine where just play to my feet and I'll lay it off. He can also make a run in behind the defense if needed. He can chase a ball down. And now one thing he has added is the finishing. So for me, that really will be a really interesting battle to see who comes out on top if um, Calvert-Lewin sort of
Is
get.
Alan expected to play?
I haven't seen anything saying otherwise.
Did he
Didn't
miss
he
the
went off
last
injured,
match?
didn't he, last game? I think he went off injured or something.
Yeah,
And Doucouré came on in the last match. But I don't know if
think
he's
that-
back fit. Him and Richarlison got injured during the League Cup game or something.
Yeah, I think that they need him. If they've got like Tom Davis in, who I don't rate much, I think then they're going to struggle. They need Allen in that midfield. I think if they're going to get the win. I think it'll be. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Liverpool might be a bit tentative after the last game, and Everton might go for the quick start, might get them like a goal or two, or Liverpool might, just go for it to show why they're champions.
if Man is
And that
back, I
might
see
throw
Liverpool
Everton
trying
off
to
a
get
bit.
off to a quick start because I generally kind of feel that if you watch Liverpool a lot, the main tempo setter for me that I've noticed is Mane. Like when he starts off quick, generally the team tends to start off quick with him as well. Because even looking at, I know I keep on referring to, but example the Arsenal game, he was within the first, I don't know, 3-4 minutes, 5 minutes. He'd already, stuck a few challenges in. He looked like he was ready for it, and he was proper buzzing. So, if Mane starts up like the way he normally does, yeah, I do see Liverpool starting off quite quickly as well. To be fair, but in terms of your starting, your predicted lineup, sorry, Shabs, what what
Um,
would you go for?
so with Mane being back, I think the front three will go back to normal. Jota will come back onto the bench. I think the most interesting parts will be who partners Van Dijk. So obviously Gomez has been with England. He's match fit. He's not injured or anything. You got the other option of Fabinho drop back in, play, which he obviously done against Chelsea, and you've also got Matip who's back in training, but he's been out a while, so he's not going to be match fit, and it's Everton the game to bring him back into. Personally, I'll bring Matip back in because what the issue with Gomez is headers. I'd say one of the main issues recently is headers. And if Calvert-Lewin targets Gomez, then we know what his aerial threat is. It's going to be issues for us. Whereas I think with Matip at the back, you got Matip and Van Dijk who are good aerially. It would cause a lot more problems for
I think you
Calvert-Lewin, and
could
he'll.
potentially see Calvert-Lewin on Van Dijk and Richarlison on whoever partners. Um,
That's fine, but like I think Matip and Van Dijk are good
as a
with
pairing.
their headers,
Yeah. When was the
whereas
last time
Gomez
Matip
isn't.
played?
So I think it was pre-season. I think he's been injured since then.
For me, I don't see Klopp dropping him in. That's dropping someone in the deep end straight off an injury, straight into a high intensity game. Like, because that's the thing. Being a derby, it is going to be very intense. Um, and it
Oh
is
yeah,
one
definitely,
where
especially this year.
it could take him, sort of 50, 60 minutes before you see him. Right, okay, he's now sort of fully adjusting. By then, how many headers would he have lost? How many last-dish tackles would he have tried to? Because that's the thing. All these things will take time for him to build back up. So to throw him in a game, like I understand what you're saying in the sense that you need someone who's assured, but I do kind of feel that if you throw him in there, you're potentially harming yourself as a team rather than doing yourself a favor.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it is a risk, and obviously Klopp's the one who's watching them in training. And
Yeah.
I know he, even in training, if he's fully fit, match fit is a completely different game. And obviously Klopp will make that decision. And I could see him starting Gomez again and build his confidence. But if Gomez has another game where it goes badly, that could be him out, out of
Yeah,
Klopp's side for a
I
while.
agree there. I agree because
But
obviously
then if
with
he does
his
do really well, he could go on a run. So it's one of
yeah,
those tough
if he
decisions
has
for him
another
to make.
game, another bad game, I would then take him out for a few games because obviously being a young centre back, you don't want to sort of destroy his confidence
Yeah,
completely.
yeah, that's the thing. Whether he'll go with a Fabinho like he did against Chelsea, because Fabinho is good in the air as well. I'm not too sure. Not sure I'd want him to risk that. I don't know how confident I'll be in that side of things. But he can do that because we do have midfield options. In terms of midfield, I expect to see Thiago start. He's been back in training for a while. I saw him post on Instagram last week or so. Him walking around Anfield on the streets. No, not Anfield, sorry, Liverpool on the streets. Amazing. How wonderful that feeling is to see that he's out and about and out of isolations. He's obviously had pictures in training, videos in training
Nabi,
through
why do you never
LFC
have a
channel.
go at him about
Well, I
Thiago?
was going to say, the way the look on your face now, the way he's talking about Thiago, that's how we feel when you're talking about Partey.
No, but the thing is, you're always telling me of, oh, here we go again, kind of. But you never say anything to Shihab. This is the first time you've actually said anything. Shihab is posting a video of Thiago
I know
doing
he's getting
kippy
carried
uppies.
away over a
Yeah,
picture of
it's like the
Thiago
guy's
No,
doing
but
dancing
it's
kippy
around
not.
the
It's
uppies.
not
street.
the. No. Wait, it's not because he's doing keepy uppies. It's Milner in the background just staring at him, like admiring his work. That's what it was.
Or
That's
Milner
what that
admiring
video is about.
Thiago doing kippy uppies. Like
Yeah, that's what it was.
So
this,
that so he's that's so that so
I
that's
don't
why he's
even
going to come
post
in and
videos
dominate the game.
of Partey in the group chat, and I'm the one who gets the stick. But
Well, I've
Just
seen
great. It's just great to
all
see, isn't
your
it? It's a
recent Twitter
star man.
posts have been about Partey.
yeah,
I think
but
you've
that's on
posted all
Twitter
his
though. It's
pictures
not
in
like
training.
Can
But
we go back to Liverpool, please?
he
I
liked
feel, I
the
feel
video
like
and retweeted it on Twitter and then posted it into the group chat. If I retweet it on Twitter, that's as far as it goes. But then this guy is like, no. I want them to see, so I'm going to put it in the group chat. But anyway, going back to Liverpool.
yeah. So I do think Thiago starts because he's obviously had a full week and a bit of training. I can't see why not, especially the fact that a lot of other players are on international duty. He's not been. He's there with Klopp, with Milner, and other players getting trained, getting ready. I do expect Henderson to be back. I think he was sent out on England duty to actually get match fit rather than just being training with Liverpool and just getting fit on the training ground. So I think Henderson starts alongside Thiago and possibly a Fabinho, Thiago, Henderson combination. And Naby Keita and Wijnaldum drop out of that midfield. But like I said, plenty of options there. Plenty of options. So,
And your front three is the
you
front
can see
three.
how it goes. And the front three is to be fair, what I would like to see happen at some point is Mane up top Salah in his used position on the right, Diogo Jota on the left, and Firmino going into a 10 with Thiago and Fabinho in like a midfield 2 or a Thiago Hendo in the midfield 2. I think as an attacking unit, that'd be so good.
This is me just throwing it
How
out
That would be
there.
my dream.
confident?
So sorry, on you go, Nabi.
How confident are you that Mane is going to start? Also considering that I don't think there's been pictures of him walking along the street.
There's been pictures of him in training, so he's definitely back. But
Has he
he's
been doing
obviously
keepy uppies?
With Milner admiring in the background.
no, but Milner already knows him, don't he? He's been around Liverpool for a long time. But he was just isolating, wasn't he? It wasn't like he was injured or anything, so he definitely starts.
Definitely,
because this is for
100% he's
fantasy
back in
football as
training.
well.
yeah,
He's 100% back in training.
No, but he's
which means
he's
he
not asking whether
100%
he's back in
starts.
training. And is like, does he start 100%?
Yeah, because my point is, it wasn't like he's injured where he needs to get match fit.
No,
He missed one game.
but this
so
attacks the immune system, etc., etc. So
Yeah, we
you-
don't know how badly he was affected by it.
yeah, obviously
oh, you
players
should
are
see
gonna
his pictures. All smiles, mate. All
dude.
smiles.
You know, a
out on the
player could
training
rupture
ground,
his
loving life.
is a hamstring. They're like, no, I'm good to continue. You know, with some players, it generally takes
Oh
the
no,
doctor
he's training
intervening.
as normal. He's fully fit. 100%.
Or
He's fully
Klopp
fit.
did confirm that.
I'm
Yeah,
telling you right now.
Klopp did confirm.
Klopp has not had his press conference yet.
Oh no, I thought you had him on the hotline. What happened?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, I haven't
Ian,
spoken to
you're
him for a
telling
few
him how
days,
he's the
haven't
best
I?
coach in the world for young players.
Yeah,
But Mane is fit. That's the point
Mane,
I'm making.
it's fit.
Mane and Thiago are both fit, both training alongside Milner. Matip is back training
Right.
from
Okay.
Wednesday, I think.
I guess
They are all ready to go.
to eliminate any. I'm not asking if they're training. I'm not asking if they're fit. Will they start this weekend?
Yep, I've already said they will
Okay, cool.
start.
So for fantasy football, those who are willing to, who are thinking about it, Mane would be a good shot. To be fair.
Wait. Mane will start. I
Yeah.
can't say 100%
No,
for
that's what I said. I
Thiago,
just
but
said
I
Mane.
think Thiago starts.
I've already said I
It's
don't
all
think
about
Thiago is a
Mane. We
points
only
player.
care about Mane.
Yeah, I don't think
You don't
Thiago is a
care about one of the best central midfielders in the world?
for fantasy football. He's not a points player, so no.
Yeah, for fantasy,
Oh,
I
true.
couldn't care
Okay.
less.
But in terms of wanting to watch him, you must have an interest in
Anyway,
watching him play. Just like I'm interested in seeing
what
Partey
what I
get
was
his
gonna
first
also
start.
say is I don't think slipped my mind now. Mane will be as effective. I will just briefly touching on it. Sorry, just I don't know if he'll be as effective down the middle as he will be out wide because obviously he does like to sort of come in, do the little shuffle that he does, push it to his right, and then.
But it would be a fluid front three, won't it?
Okay,
I'm just
cool.
pointing out their starting
In that sense,
positions,
fair
but
enough. In that sense, fair enough.
all three of them can play in all three of the front line. Even Firmino, so you'd have the front four literally switching about all over the place.
No, that's fair enough. Yeah,
And they're all comfortable in any
the only thing I
position.
would say, I wouldn't put Salah in that 10 role because he wouldn't pass to anyone.
To be fair, I don't know if you remember against who was it against? I think it was against Arsenal. That pass he did to Diogo Jota when Jota came on, he came inside and then he cut through and passed. It was like Diogo Jota's first chance, and he hit the side netting, like near post side netting. I don't even remember that one. That was a great pass from Salah. I'll get it into our group chat.
Yeah, I think
It was
I
actually a
do.
very good
I
pass
think
from
I do
Salah.
remember.
Well, I also remember when the ball could have gone to Jota.
No,
but Salah ran
Nabi. Just to
into him.
correct you, it's not. It could have. The ball was in front of Jota. It's not like it could have gone to Jota.
Yeah,
The ball was
that was
literally
Salah's
right
greediness,
in
but
front of him. Sorry,
that's
Nabi. On you
Salah's
go.
instinct as
I'll
a
let
greedy
Nabi
player,
finish.
isn't it?
No, that was the point. I couldn't remember exactly where the ball was. All I remember was Salah taking it off him when Jota had a clear chance.
Yeah.
Salah was running towards it. Jota was right in front of it. So Jota should have taken the shot. Salah's greedy instincts as like a kind of striker took over. He made a mistake in that part. But what I'm pointing out is Tinashe is saying that as a 10 he doesn't work, which he doesn't. I'm not saying he does.
Yeah, that's the thing I was
he
going to say.
can
Like,
find the pass. Don't
it's
think he
okay.
can't
This
find
is
the
going to be
pass.
such an extreme example. It's like I don't know, Adolf Hitler, and then said, "Oh, but you know what? I saw him feeding the birds once. You know, it's like that doesn't take away the fact that he was a horrible human being. It's like, oh, I saw him
Wow,
doing a
that
nice
is
deed
extreme
once.
to the point where I feel like we've even lost the comparison.
No, the point that I'm making is just because he laid off a pass once to Jota, that doesn't necessarily make him the fact that, like, I wouldn't say it's a valuable argument to use in his case, for example. Like, to say, or to the point that
I
I'm
can
saying
get
that,
one of those YouTube compilation videos if you want of his
well,
pass
obviously, like,
and
that
his
will probably
assist.
span back to the start of his career, and in total, you probably get like 10 assists of him passing to his
No,
teammates.
he does a lot of assists. I'm sure last year he got a lot of
That was an
assists.
exaggeration, Shabs. But
I know, but I'm just saying last year I think he got a lot
but
of assists.
the anyway, we're going around in circles. The point I was trying to make is he's not the type of player you'd want to play in a 10, because he would want to take the majority of the chances for himself rather than lay off
Oh,
and
definitely, but
feed his teammates.
he can interchange into a 10 in moments of the game. Like, I'm not saying he would become a
But
10 in the 90
now we're
minutes, but
diverting. The point was him playing a 10, not interchanging or playing there for 5 minutes. Or I'm talking him playing
then I've
solidly as
never
a 10.
put no, but I'm saying I've never put him as a 10 ever. I've never I once had him as a 10.
Fair
So you're
points.
making a point where I've never actually put him there. I've just said they can change around the four of them. So there could be 5 minutes during a whole 90-minute game where Salah's ended up in the 10 and he's
But
found a pass, which he
I
has the
guess
ability to do.
that's where the
But,
thing that
you know,
with that pass, with proven history, he could either do that, but he will more
he'll probably
likely
take the shot.
shoot.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
no,
will more
yeah.
likely shoot.
I know your point, but what I'm
Um,
saying, he's not going to be
but
a fixed 10. Like, he's not going to do 90
anyway,
minutes there.
starting with you, Nabi, what is your prediction and player to watch for the game?
I'm going 2-2. Player to watch, Richarlison.
Or your Golden Boot winner?
He's gonna get them goals.
I feel like Tinashe's player to watch is going to be Calvert-Lewin. I can see it coming already.
I was actually gonna go James Rodriguez. Thank you very much.
Ah, fair enough. Oh,
Uh,
no, you were just saying a lot about him. I just assumed that
no,
he
no,
would have
like,
been your
do
player.
you know what? Like, me saying it genuinely, I am actually genuinely interested to see how he will cope with a centre back like VVD,
Yeah, he's go out for
especially
England as
with
well,
his
and he
current
wins a lot of
form.
aerial battles.
Yeah, especially with his current form, it would just be. I'm just really interested to see how he would do.
I
Are you
think there's
worried
quite a lot
about
of good matchups on the pitch.
Yeah.
Are you worried about Adrian?
Yes, put it bluntly, yes. He makes a lot of, like, I wouldn't say he makes 10, 15 mistakes in the game, but he'll usually near enough make one
Well,
big error every game.
not even De Gea makes
I
10,
don't know the
15
stats,
mistakes
but
a
I feel like he
game.
does.
That's a lot of mistakes in a game.
You shouldn't be a
That
professional
was just my
footballer if you're making
exaggeration.
that many mistakes in one
No,
single
that
game.
that that was my exaggeration,
You
but
said, yeah, fair. I was gonna say that's like
I
my
feel
Hitler
like
one, but it's not as
he
bad.
makes just he near enough he near enough makes like I wouldn't know
It
the obvious
feels like
stats,
10,
but
15 mistakes a
I
game.
feel like yeah, and it feels like he definitely makes at least one massive one every game. That's what it feels like.
So anyway,
And I don't think the defenders trust him.
I've
But
gone
yeah,
for James Rodriguez, my player to watch, and 3-2 to Everton. Shabs, who's your player to
what
watch?
did you say, Naby? Was yours a 2-1 Everton
2-2.
win?
2-2.
2-2. Oh, okay. I'm going to go for a Liverpool win. Obviously, I think it'll be a close match. I'm going to go 2-1 Liverpool. And when we say player to watch, is it player just to watch in general? Player that would do well in fantasy football?
Fantasy
Points.
this
So
is for
don't say
fantasy.
Thiago.
How many weeks have we been
Okay,
doing this
so
and you still don't know this?
no, because I really want to say Thiago, but
He's not
I
a
don't think,
points.
like you guys said, he's
Yeah.
not the point scorer. So I'm gonna go with Mane, come back into the side and rip it up.
Okay.
So Mane's my player to watch.
So I guess that does it essentially for our teams currently. The other sort of sides that are playing, Chelsea are playing Southampton. I
Is
guess
that Chelsea at home?
yeah. So getting your predictions,
Okay.
starting with you, Nabi.
3-2 Chelsea.
And player to watch.
Hopefully plays Ben Chilwell.
Will he play? Because he left England with an injury, didn't he?
With a
Yeah,
knock, yeah.
he is a question mark. If he doesn't play, then I'm gonna say Ings.
Okay. And I will go 2-1 Chelsea. And my player to watch, I'm gonna go um what's the new striker called?
Chelsea's new striker,
Yeah,
Werner.
Werner, that's the one.
Timo Werner. You finally seeing him get a goal.
Yeah. And Shabs, prediction and player to watch.
I'm going to go with. I'm going to actually say 2-0 Chelsea. And my player to watch will be. Oh, who starts? Let's go Pulisic. Let's just go with Pulisic. I think he's back.
Yeah. And
Yeah, I'm going Pulisic as one
the
to watch.
last one,
But not least.
with very least, is Spurs versus West Ham, London derby.
Who's
What's the
at home for this
possible
one?
Tottenham are at home.
possible return of Bale?
Oh, yeah. True.
Yeah. Yeah. Start with you.
Exciting.
We'll start with you, Shabs. What are your predictions and
I'm
thoughts,
going to
if any?
go with 3-2 Tottenham. I think there's goals in this for both sides. And my play to watch will be Son. Heung-min Son.
What about you, Nabi?
I was gonna go 3-2 and Son, so I will go
No, go for it if you
for.
think that. Just go with the same.
Okay, I'll go 3-2 and Bale.
Ballet.
Do you see him starting though?
No, but I think even in the 30-minute cameo he has, he'll have an impact.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go
With West Ham, obviously.
5-0 to West Ham. No, I'm joking. I'm gonna go 3-2 West Ham and Antonio to start.
Can't say it, can he? Can't say a Tottenham win. You could be
Antonio
right,
to
so,
start.
I do agree with Antonio. Antonio's a quality player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he'll cause havoc in that Tottenham defence.
Nabi and I were admiring his body a couple. Was it like last week, the week before? We were just talking
I
how.
don't know where you were leading on to there,
Uh,
but
His physique. He's
yeah,
got
his
quite a
physique.
physique.
Sorry, better word. Yeah, his physique. Honestly, because we're watching him against Arsenal, and there's a picture of him. Like there's a image where you see Hector Bellerin marking him. You just can't help but laugh. Where you see this guy absolutely wham standing right next to thin old Bellerin.
And
But
it's not like he's got all in the top half. It's all
yeah,
about his
his
legs
legs
as
as well.
well.
Sometimes it looks like his shorts are too tight for his thighs. You know. But anyway, I feel like we're going way off topic here. So in terms of fantasy football, I'll kick off in terms of what I am going to do this game week. Finally, the transfer window is closed, and I've been saying that I will do it once the transfer window is closed. I'm going to use my wild card. And in terms of who I'm going to get in, Partey, and then I'll build the whole team around him essentially. Nadrix, but yeah, I'm not too sure, but I think Calvert Lewin would definitely be a shout. Um, Pulisic also. Uh, yeah, those are the kind of two sort of concrete. I wanted to get a Wolves player, but I'm not too sure on Wolves at the moment. They're a bit. Hmm.
Yeah.
They look like they're struggling a bit.
Yeah, but then remember last season we all said this, like, oh yeah, Europa League, they're struggling, they're gonna go down, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up going on a
Yeah,
massive,
they just make it work, don't
yeah,
they? For whatever reason, they just make
completely
it
change
work.
their form. But yeah, I feel like some Wolves players as well. Um, but yeah, yeah, I think briefly I will use it. I'll obviously be changing it up until the final day on the final hour rather on it's Saturday, isn't it? Yeah. So usually,
Saturday
yeah,
11, I think.
yeah. So yeah, that's my tactic. Yeah, Nabi.
Well, I think I wild carded I think possibly before the last game week even ended. But I guess the big names that or the noticeable names I've brought in, I've brought Son back in, I've got Grealish in, I've got Zaha in, and I've got Calvert-Lewin in, and Mane, of course, he was always there, but he's in as well. So that's who my team is kind of as. So my big guns I'm going for. Oh, and Chilwell as well.
No. Are you thinking?
Yeah,
Do
the
you think
big game week
you could
last
make
one, didn't he?
any changes?
Maybe depending on how the press conferences go tomorrow. If anyone gets surprisingly ruled out, I think I've got the basis of it. It'd be my bench players probably. I might change around, but first 11, I think I've got it pretty set with those gun players.
This is one thing I've kind of been thinking about as well with with the starting 11, the bench players. What Shab said last time, that he wants to have his bench players so that he can rotate them in if needed, rather than having players, because that's usually my weakness. I just pick players that I'm like, you're the cheapest, you'll do. But yeah, I think that's one thing I could potentially look to do. What about you, Shabs?
I've got a feeling I'll probably take KDB, Kevin De Bruyne out. One with his injury risk or slash doubt, and secondly, I feel like getting either Mane or Salah in for him, because I have at the moment I have Sterling and Kevin De Bruyne. So yeah, I feel like my one change will be getting Kevin De Bruyne out.
Who do you think over the course of the season will score more points out of Mane and Salah?
Mane.
It's a tough one, actually. It
But
is
with
actually a
Mane,
very tough
I
one.
feel Mane. This is probably me just being a bit biased with my anti-Salah assisting bias, but I think with Mane, if he's not scoring a lot, he'll also assist. Whereas with he'll get more assists than Salah. Sorry, because saying he'll also assist makes it sound like Salah doesn't assist. He'll assist more than Salah. So I think it will then just come down to who gets more goals. Which, yeah, the last sort of 3 seasons has been one. This season, one season they were all the same, and then the following season, like last season, who got more? It was Mane that got more goals last season, wasn't it?
I think
So
Mane just, or even then, it was one goal in it at most.
Yeah.
It was one goal in it
So
at most.
personally, I think
They're always both very close. To be
Mane.
fair, it's a
Yeah.
tough one to pick. You can go either way with that one, to be honest, at this point in time. So yeah, personally, you're probably best off with going whoever the cheaper option is. I think it's like 0.2 million in it in terms of
Yeah,
fantasy
Mane
football.
is the cheaper option, isn't he?
Yeah, it's like
yeah,
11.9 to 12.1 or something
Yeah.
with the two prices. So yeah, I'd say just go Mane purely because of that reason. If you wanted my advice,
Yeah.
because he starts against Everton
You
for
heard it
sure.
here first,
for sure.
listeners. Shabs has got the hotline direct to Jurgen Klopp. So Mane starts
Yeah,
against Everton.
and
Sorry?
can you tell him to make Mane the penalty taker as well?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh
And
no, he won't be the penalty taker. That's Salah's job.
no.
Yeah, but can you
Or if
tell
Milner's on the
Klopp to
pitch,
Oh,
change
oh
it?
yeah, that's true actually.
no, I'm not telling Klopp to change it
Why?
because
Because
my thoughts isn't to help you, Naby. My thoughts is for Liverpool to win. So to put Mane as penalty kick taker if he's not a penalty kick taker is ridiculous. So no, I'm not getting Klopp to change that just for you.
fair enough.
But you admit then you've got contact with him.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, to be fair,
I'm
I'm the
not
one.
answering that question. That's a no comment.
Well, to be fair, sorry. With that question, saying no comment is answering that question, and yeah, we know what the answer is. But yeah, with that, that's all from this episode, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in to Talk Football, and as ever, our socials will be in the description. So make sure to follow, to like, and also to interact. Once again, follow, like, interact. Look down in the descriptions. Just click the link. It will take you direct to the Twitter page, the Instagram page, the YouTube page, and then all you have to do is like, subscribe, and it will be free for you, completely free. But it helps us because we'll be able to reach more people. The more people that like the videos, the more people that like or comment on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, helps us grow. So please, please, please make sure to interact, like, and follow. I've been your host, Snashe. Thank you very much for tuning in this week. Until next time, Tonana.